Ordering decimals. Often we will be given several different decimal numbers and asked to put them in the correct order based on which is biggest and which is smallest. To do this, first of all, let's just refresh ourselves on what a decimal is by using a decimat. Here we can very quickly visually show tenths, hundredths and thousandths, which will give us any decimal up to 3 decimal places after the decimal point. Let's look at 0.231. Now that would look like this. Reason being that the 2 means 2 tenths, the 3 means 3 hundredths, and the 1 means 1,000th. And that is shown as coloured in. Now let's look at 0.3. To colour this in on the decimat, it would simply look like this, because 0.3 just means 3 tenths. Now, if we want to compare these two numbers and put them in order, we can put the visuals side by side, and very quickly and clearly we can see that the orange number is larger because it has 3 large tenths, as opposed to 0.231, which only has 2 tenths, and of course some extra pieces, but they're much smaller. So I would put the following symbol, which is the less than symbol. So 0.231 is less than 0.3. And a handy way that we can remind ourselves of this is using the crocodile feature, where we visualize the symbol as a crocodile's mouth and pretend that a crocodile always wants to eat the biggest thing. One thing to note in this example is that we notice that 0.231 is a much longer number, so often we get drawn into the mistake of thinking that it looks similar to 231, which is larger than 3. So once we are moving beyond the decimal point and looking at fractions, we can no longer use the same rules as what we use with whole numbers. So the length of the number doesn't actually let us know whether a number is bigger or not. It is which pieces are larger than the other pieces. Let's now look at another example comparing 0.21 to 0.103. Now again, we need to make sure we're understanding what each of these digits actually stands for. So 0.21 is 2 tenths and 1 hundredth. So there's the 2 tenths and there's the hundredth. 0.103 is 1 tenth. It is no hundredths, so I don't colour any of the next shape down, and it is 3 thousandths as shown in the top corner, those tiny ones. Obviously, again, we can see that 0.21 clearly is larger. So it is 0.21 is greater than or larger than 0.103. And again, if it helps, the crocodile always wants to eat the largest number. So we can see quite simply we can find the order of decimals by just making sure we're really solid on our understanding of what the decimal actually represents, and then we know how large it is.